Hello, hello, and welcome to Paint Minis Live. I'm your host, Bill T, and I hope you're doing well this evening. We've got some more painting to do today, and I think it would be a lot of. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've got some models that are ready to go here. We've got our Morgan's Men at Arms. The last time we left these models, I had just gotten done with a bunch of the shields and a couple other details that were kind of sticking out to me, and we're gonna kind of keep trucking with that and try and do our best to get as close as we can to finished tonight. I'm hoping that at this stage I can just jump right into doing some bases with these guys. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll see how far we get. Hopefully we can kind of get there. I think tonight I have a little bit of woodwork I've got to do. Couple of straps here and there. So what's going on? It's Mythos, Wolf Brother Hobbies. How you doing, man? What you been up to? I hope you've been well. I hope you've been well. All right. Just getting organized here and kind of gathering some thoughts on what needs to happen with some of these guys. I think it's just kind of down to a couple colors that I can get on the paint shaker early here before I get too far ahead of myself. I need that one and then the dark brown, dark umber. My paints like to travel around my desk every once in a while to get all kinds of ideas on where they should be, and they just kind of walk off. But that's neither here nor there. That's really weird. I could have sworn I had that paint like literally right in front of me on the desk here. Crazy. Ah, I've lost I've lost my dark brown. Oh no. Never mind, I didn't. It was staring me in the face the whole time. Okay. Fair enough. Doing well, my brother. How are you? Yeah, dude, I just woke up from a nap. I came home. I had about I sat down on the couch, watched some Invincible with Miss PML, and then the next thing I knew, I was having a nap. And she woke me up and she's like, "Yeah, you got about a half hour before you start your stream." Wow. Okay, all right. So that's fun. I'm kind of just waking up from that. I guess I needed to recharge my batteries a little bit. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. Got to get those midday naps. Have you done that Space Marine table spread yet? You got to let me know when you do it, man. Have a problem with walking paints too. Excellent. I'm not alone. That's like the important part. I'm not going crazy. So I just got I'm getting my paints here on the shaker. I'm gonna get some tunes going. I don't know, we might go after that same playlist I did the other night. That was somewhat decent. All right, we'll see how that strikes our fancy for a bit. We got two live chat lounge cats in the studio. Hello, hello. Oh yeah, you're into the 911 series. There you go. Yeah, go and catch up on Invincible, man. Invincible's really good. I haven't seen 911 though. That's one that I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to watching that at some point. Me and my folks watched a lot of Emergency back in the day. It's like Emergency and um, Cops is another one. So, all right, let's get the desk cam going here so you can see all the good miniature painting action here on Paint Minis Live. One of the few shows that tries to make miniature painting entertaining, watching paint dry. All right. So my palette's seen better days. I think it's almost time to change out the paper on this one. Um, that is a okay. So just a little bit of this dark brown will do us. A little bit of the light brown. It's mainly going to be highlights here, but I have a feeling I've got some like shields and stuff to do too. Or like the insides of the shields, and this is kind of everything from leather to wood. This combo just works out really well. It shows up quite nice. So I use it quite consistently when I'm painting this dark umber, light umber combo. So let me get kind of settled in here so that we can watch the magic happen. I think I can kind of live with that. I don't know, maybe Mythos, maybe you've had this too, but like where um trying to keep the model at least in frame is a lot of fun. I kind of struggle on that front a little bit. Just getting a little bit of water here in my highlight color. I'm gonna start targeting things like fingertips on the gloves. Here is the base color is what we got done the other night. Um, okay, good. Yeah, I definitely am not the only one that struggles to keep it in frame. Okay, good. Just give it a little extra salad pizzazz, you know? I don't know if that's like just a regional thing, but there's this stuff at like the grocery store called salad pizzazz, and all it is just mixed nuts. But they make it sound like it's gonna elevate your salad to a whole new level, even though like I don't know how much more you can elevate salad. um, but here we are trying to do it anyways, and they call it salad pizzazz. But so a little extra highlight here and there is just kind of giving this mini a little salad pizzazz. Okay. And what I'm trying to do here again is just adding a little bit of a little bit of variation, like color variation in the sculpt, while keeping some of the original color. Yeah, I think that looks good. So Mythos, what's going on over at Wolf Brother Hobbies? Anything new to report? Any new videos or doing any new live stream stuff? It's really this edge highlighting game is kind of down. Oh, here we go. We got another casualty. Oops. Looks like this guy already had a crack going, but okay. Well, you just made life a little bit easier, so I'll keep your shield with you. But we had another arm pop off. There must be that must be like a layer line that just had a crack in it. But as I was saying here, the edge highlighting game is a lot of very little brush pressure and just almost missing the model 9 times out of 10 to get those really thin lines, especially on these tiny little fingers of the model since it's 28 mil true scale. Live stream. Oh, hey, what's going on? I am gonna struggle with pronouncing this name, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Famulus de Populi. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Are you into miniature painting at all? Out of curiosity, I don't think I've seen your handle around here before, so it's nice to meet you. Live stream reviewing the Codex leaks went over really well. Haven't been working more weekends recently. You've been working more recent weekends recently, and my streaming has been a bit inconsistent. Gotcha. Yeah, it seems like a busy time of year for everybody. Whether you're doing, you know, uh, I think a lot of industries right now are kind of in overtime for whatever reason. But it's good to hear that you set a little bit of time aside to go over the leaks. I haven't really been in the 40K sphere for a while, so I'm not sure what they are. But I'll check out your video so that maybe now I'll know them. And that way I can maybe keep up to date with the game a little bit. I'm doing pretty well. Just got into 40K and by extension mini painting back in December. Been slowly painting my first army. Okay, gotcha. What Wolf Brother Hobbies over here, his name is Mythos. He does a ton of 40K stuff. I started the channel doing 40K stuff, and then eventually the Dungeons and Dragons crowd, uh, they kind of adopted me, and they've really enjoyed some of the stuff that I've painted up, uh, fantasy style. But I've been wanting to kind of get back to some 40K roots, um, some Death Guard stuff. I keep pulling these guys out. They're like some of my favorites, but we've got some Poxwalkers here that we painted up. Basically, some of the first minis on the channel. I've got some Plague Bearers, or what were they? Uh, some Death Guard Space Marines too. But yeah, these guys were really fun to paint. I had a good time doing it. That's just a little bit of the 40K stuff we've done around here. Show you another one. These are just way too good not to show off. They really came out quite well. All right, back to these guys. I have a fair few D&D minis I need to get around to painting. Gotcha. I started with Custodies and immediately made my life hard by deciding not to make them completely gold. Oof. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Custodes hard mode though is trying to do non-metallic metal instead of just painting them like gold. Skin tones on those look really nice. Just started painting a few faces in the past week or so. Uh yeah, yeah. I'll talk about that in a sec. That looks incredible. Thanks, Mythos. Much appreciated. Always love the feedback. Uh, yeah, faces. I have a couple to do tonight, so you're in for a treat if you can manage to hang on for a little while here while I get a few of these other details kind of sorted out. But I'll kind of give you my method to the madness of trying to paint faces. Um, I haven't necessarily done a ton with like a darker flesh tone yet, but I might give that a shot tonight and just see how it works. But I do have a pretty decent formula for a lighter skin tone that I've been working on over the past little bit here, and it's shown that it's got some pretty repeatable results. So I can show you my way on how to do it. What's going on? Hey, it's Dungeon Minister. 40 minutes until the next plenary. I can watch a bit. Okay, nice. Hey, it's good to see you, Dungeon Minister. These guys are like, they're really getting there. I know I keep saying every time you tune in, it's like, oh, they're almost done. They're almost done. But they're almost done. I'm hoping to get them based tonight and basically ready to ship. That's like my goal. And I'm willing to like brew some coffee to make it happen. So hopefully you'll be seeing them up in your neck of the woods really soon. Okay. Can't forget the guys that had their shields kind of busted off them. Ethos is playing Custodes at the moment too. Did the same thing. Color scheme is blue and gold. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I decided I wanted a inversion of the Shadow Keepers. Gold with black trim and decorations. There you go. That's sick. I enjoy me some good black and gold armor. That was kind of my thing back in like the RuneScape days. Was the black armor with gold trim or gold armor with black trim. Well, thank you, Father Aaron. How's your conference going, by the way? I hope it's been well. Hope it's been entertaining for you, or hopefully insightful or spiritually invigorating. I'm always happy to learn. I like some of the dark olive tones you've done, but I'm not sure I'm happy with the lighter ones. The are you talking about the edge highlights like on the capes and stuff? Um, like these thin little lines over here. Just out of curiosity, the food is good. Fair enough. Hey, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. Well, hopefully you can get back soon and be able to roll some dice and uh, do some preaching back at the church there. Okay, so we've kind of got that section done. What else are we doing? Straps. I should probably do some like leather strap. Oh well, we've got faces. We got somebody that wants to learn faces, so we could do some faces. Um, why don't we do faces? We'll do that. Oh, was talking about the skin tones. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I'm still again kind of working on some of that a little bit. Da, da. Oh, you're not sure if you're happy with the lighter ones that you're. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so I tend to start with I usually do whatever paints are at hand. You could go with something like a burnt sienna, a dark flesh. I use basically all pro acrylic colors, mainly because that's what I've got on the Paint Minis Live web shop, which I can just shamelessly plug for a minute because both Wolf Brother Hobbies and Dungeon Minister are affiliates on there. So go and support them if you so wish for anybody in the replay or watching later on. But you can check out paintminislive.com to go and shop through all of the hobby goodness over there. Um, but yeah, I'll start with like a dark flesh, and then I'll go on to let's see, where's my other flesh tones here? Uh, like shadow flesh, and for the highlight, I have my highlight color here somewhere. Warm flesh, I believe. It's all the flesh triad that they have is basically kind of what I use, but the trick is making like hardcore gradients out of this. Um, so between dark flesh, shadow flesh, and warm flesh, you're gonna step this up and mix them in different ways to kind of get the effect that you want out of it. So let me find this guy doesn't have a face yet. So this is our what is his name? Dario. Is it Dario something or other from Game of Thrones, the faceless man? He's faceless. Another thing that I use a lot is a um, is an 18-0 brush. It's just a round brush. It's very thin, very pointy. It's perfect for keeping the paint out of places I've already painted. So let's go ahead and start with dark flesh. And I'm just going to put this on the paint shaker real quick to save some time. Since we're doing this live, I kind of tend to take shortcuts like that. So I've got a little nail lacquer shaker over here that's noisier than heck, but it gets the job done. Um, so you want to start with basically the place you're going to put the shadows first, and sometimes it can be hard to target certain places on the face at like true 28 mil scale. Something like Warhammer, this is a bit easier because you're dealing in like 28 millimeter or 20, yeah, true 28 is a little bit more difficult than um 28 mil heroic because the features are more exaggerated and you get a little bit more leeway to play with your brush. These guys are a bit smaller than that. 32 mil on the other hand, you can start really making some decent faces because you've got enough room to kind of play. But I've kind of done my best to make my version of faces go down well on this smaller scale, which I meant to order these in like 28 mil heroic, but it just wasn't happening. I forgot all about it, and then the order shipped. So here we go. Basically, let's see. Can I move my palette so you can see the colors? Okay, cool. I can. So I'm gonna take this guy here. I don't need a ton of paint on my brush, but I want enough to get some decent coverage. And this is going basically everywhere on on the model here. If I start creeping a bit out of frame, I'll do my best to keep it in there. But if I start creeping it out of frame, you'll get the beauty shots in between uh, each coat here. So this has a little bit of red in it, a little bit of brown. I think it works out really well. So that's kind of where we're sitting at with this guy's face for starters. Now I'm going to put the next color on the shaker here because I keep forgetting to do so. Let's see here. It's dark flesh. I think we just did that. Shadow flesh. RPG Dad, hello, hello. How's it going? Not happening. Hey, with enough practice, you can do anything. I'll tell you this much, Father Aaron. You know, I might be able to paint faces on models, but I probably could not give a very good homily. But I know you can give a pretty good homily. So, or a sermon. I think I'm getting my religious terminology mixed up. Maybe isn't like a homily at a wedding. I need to go hit the books. But next up, I've got Shadow Flesh here from Monument Hobbies. It's a little bit. We're adding in a little bit of pink to this. And I'm just for the sake of speed here, so that we can get through this in a timely manner. I'm gonna put the last warm flesh on the paint shaker and do that up. quickly before we continue. What's going on, RPG Dad? Have you been up to any gaming recently? How you been? How you been? Okay, homily is generally used to suggest it will be shorter. Gotcha. All right. So, if Famulus is still in here, this is gonna be kind of the secret sauce for the faces here. So we've got all three of our colors that make up kind of a triad, from dark to light. And we've got our model here that's got kind of a deep dark color on it now. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to my next color, and I'm going to take some of the darker color here and start just making a little pool of color in the middle. The name of the game here is trying to, we want to target certain parts. Just got home, no gaming as of lately. Too much adulting. Gotcha. Someone asked, "What's your sermon about?" 12 minutes. Nice. That's a good comeback. Uh, well, hey, I hope you enjoy the show and are able to relax after work. There, RPG Dad. But as I was saying, we want to target certain parts of the face. Namely, we're kind of going after cheap shadows, and exaggerated highlights to a degree, while making it seem realistic. So we're going to be using a ton of gradients on the way up to our highlights. So uh, basically, if I put my face under this light, the biggest things that are catching is like my forehead, the tops of my cheeks here, the bridge of my nose, um, and then going darker. Um, it's going to be darker underneath your chin, underneath your, like, anywhere near eyes too is going to be darker, underneath your nose where your mustache line is. Um, what else can I really say about that while I'm sitting here loitering on the subject? A lot of it is just taking respect from the previous color. So, like, when you're going dark to light, don't be afraid to make 3 or 4 different gradient jumps on your way up to your final, like, highlight color. Eventually, we're going to use almost none of our highlight color. It's just the last final bit there is kind of just a swipe on the bridge of the nose, and you'll kind of see what I mean. But it's not too hard to get the concept of when you see it here. All right. So again, I tend to use a little bit of water with this too, just to make my life easier, and get a little extra transparency from the paints. But I'm gonna just start painting in. So the nose, tops of the cheeks, the chin. It's another place that's gonna catch light, and leave the rest of it the previous color. Now I'm gonna bring in like 25% more of this kind of mid-tone pink color. We're just gonna slowly keep building this up. I'm gonna try and wipe a little bit of that off so that I get a bit better of a tip on my brush. So no matter what I do here, I I may not be able to leave all of the previous color behind, but that's okay in my book. Like this is more about an illusion than it is about actually being accurate. I'm going to add again 25% more of the warm flesh color until I hit something I like. So now I'm kind of just able to go freely into this color here. Now this would be a decent, like already, this would be a halfway decent, kind of darker, more tanned skin tone. But I'm going to take it kind of up to par with the rest of them that I've got. It's kind of all about the gradient when it comes down to this. So I'm going to take a little bit of my highlight and I'm going to thin it down with the previous color here. Going to go for like just a tad lighter than what I've got going already and just keep repeating the process. Bridge in the nose, top of the cheeks here, doing up the chin. Already you can kind of see this is looking halfway decent. Adding just another like drop of this, my highlight color here, the warm flush. There we are. Now I'm adding, again, another drop. You can see the process here as it unfolds. I'm going to keep mixing it in with the previous color. I don't really need much at this stage. We're kind of getting pretty much there. My brush is a bit too wet. I think I could probably just stop there. It's a little well, yeah. It's this little bit of his face that I just can't reach with my brush very well. Another thing is to make sure you don't have excess paint, too much excess paint at least on your brush. So, but this guy's looking pretty good to me. You can see like at a bit of a distance here, like if I were to judge, that's about 3-inch paint job. If I come in really close, you'll see that the effect kind of breaks down a little bit. Not too bad, but so we've got a decent amount of shadow still with our contrasting paints here. And if you want to, you can kind of take it all away and just take some watered down warm flesh and just do a single swipe on the bridge of the nose to really pronounce that highlight. I really don't go any further than that on these guys. I think they look pretty good. So again, it's just all you can see. We've gone through a lot of gradients getting to this. Um, so that's kind of just the name of the game, is trying to leave Uh, leaving photo. Thanks, Dungeon Minister. Hey, what's going on? Oh, did Tonka Todd show up and I didn't even notice I was that deep into the painting? Hey, what's going on, Tonka Todd? I hope you're having a good day out there. It's good to see you again. Tonka Todd's a legendary MVP over here. He's always the one that starts up the party. Um, oh yeah, yeah, wet pallets. You can make your own too. I used to do that like quite often. I would have just my own type of wet palette, or I'd just use a dry palette because I wasn't painting for extended period of time. But now that I'm getting into some more advanced techniques, some of them really actually do call for a wet palette, and this is one of them. Trying to make gradients and keeping your paint um, workable for a certain amount of time. That's part of it. Um, Thank you very much for the compliments. They're fabulous. Much appreciated. I thanks for stopping by from Twitch over there too. I don't really get a ton of people from Twitch, so it's really cool to see somebody chatting in from Twitch. So let's see. What do we got going next? I do have one more guy that I can do a face on too. This guy doesn't have a face, and that's like kind of another big ticket item. Once the face is on and their other highlights are done, they're kind of like 75% of the way. Well, they're more than 75. These guys are like 80 or 90, but so here we go. We'll do it one more time. This time we'll do it a little bit quicker. So we'll start off with just our base shadow color. If I get a little quiet during this, it's just trying to keep the paint off of previous works that I've done, and I'm not trying to ignore you. Nope. A little bit too much paint on my brush there. We're gonna have to try and level that out a little bit. Yeah, word to the wise. Make sure you don't totally overload your brush either, as I just did there. A lot of people don't really thin their paints, like people who are just beginning, they don't really thin their paints a ton. And I've been asked, like, what's your biggest tip for beginners? Thin your paints, just a little bit of water. You don't have to go as crazy as like skim milk consistency, but I kind of go with like a whole milk kind of thing, and have it be something that'll run well and cover well for you. You'll get the hang of it. It's just practice, but definitely invest in practicing the art of thinning your paints so that you can paint much easier. Don't be afraid to practice that. It's a really good skill to have. It'll make your painting go a lot easier. And plus it'll save you a ton of cash on paints because you'll be using a lot less of it. I might be painting out of frame here. I'm not sure. I am painting out of frame. What do you know? Okay. So I needed to get his neck area there. Um Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, we streamed YouTube and Twitch. We've got 7 live chat lounge cats in the studio here. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Always good to have a little bit of extra company in the painting studio. So again, I'm mixing up just like 25% more of my mid-tone color along with my dark color here. And I'm going to try my best to target the bridge of the nose, the like basically right under the eyeballs, and then the chin. This color. All right. Now I'm going to add in another, just a tiny little drop of next color, or the mid-tone color, into the one that I just used, so that we're getting even lighter. Bridge of the nose, under the cheeks, then the chin, and another drop. Okay. Now I'm just going to go whole hog on the mid-tone color. I'm kind of liking where it's at already, so I can, just through uh, previous works, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I think it's already there. Oh man, hey, always having a good travel pack for miniature painting is a good idea there, Dungeon Minister. I At some point I should put together my travel pack and like show it off. So, um, hey, thank you very much for the compliment there, Robert. I really appreciate that. I hope you have a good lunch break. Thank you very much. I hope to see you in the live if you got some time in the future. So now I am trying my best to use just a little less paint here on this guy. When I'm getting to these stages, sometimes it's just inevitable that you're gonna have a little bit of overspill into previous colors, but with with the gradient system, it's kind of harder to mess it up. At least you're getting caught by colors that are of like values underneath it. There we are. I mean, just it's a single brush stroke or two is all you need with this here. Just a single brush stroke or two. I'm going to put in, skip a step here, add in a couple extra dabs of my highlight color. So we're kind of, again, leaving faux shadows around. Is kind of the name of the game. All right, finally we'll do a quick highlight. I think this is good enough. We're gonna just a little. There you go. Let's see how far we can zoom into this. That's looking pretty decent to me. I think I could have maybe done a little bit more around like the mustache area, but it's good enough. It's good enough. It gets the point across. Our dudes look pretty nice. They're looking like they have decent faces now, so I'm happy on that front. I hope everybody here at least learned a little bit about doing faces at my way, anyways. If however you do faces, do it how you feel comfortable and what you like to do. Painting is all about having fun, and you should definitely be having fun when you're painting. So do what feels good, do what feels like it's fun, and do it that way. But if you want to take some inspiration from how I do it and try and make your formula off of that, by all means, do it up. I'd be happy to hear about it and see your results in the Paint Minis Live Discord too. We've got a lot of really cool, talented mini painters in there that like to put up their stuff. Um, a basic assortment of paints, brushes, a case, and of course the PML logo. Yeah, that's true. I should do that. I should put my logo on there. That'd be fun. You could have variations. The Tech Travel Paint Kit. Yeah, yeah. No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Okay, what do we have left, friends? I think at this point it's down to I think there's a shield that needs a little bit of help here with the metalwork on it. Um, and what else after that? Oh, the back sides of them all need at least some brown or something to indicate there's wood back there. So we'll probably do that. I'll post. Okay, very nice, very nice. I'm looking forward to seeing it there. Fabulous. Yeah, for sure. In the future, I'm hoping to offer some. I'm hoping to offer a painting course, one-on-one kind of video style painting course. You just need a halfway decent webcam so that I can see what you're doing, and I'll teach you how to paint. I'm currently going through some more advanced techniques and painting courses myself with Kenny Boucher from Next Level Painting. He's kind of been my mentor for the past year here. I've been working with him quite a bit. Um, so I've taken a lot from his teachings, and if you want to kind of learn some of my painting style, I'd love to have you. But that's not quite up on the website yet. I'm still working on the new version of the Paint Minis Live website, where you can go ahead and book stuff like um, you can book sessions and classes with me and things of that nature. And that should be out in the coming months here, hopefully pretty soon. So I'm gonna need to find another color, maybe to do. I don't know. Will I do midtones on this? I don't know. I might just leave it. I don't think the back of the shield is really going to be a focal point for a lot of folks. If I was doing these for like to sell them, which they're not being sold, they're actually going to be gifted off to the dungeon minister up in Canada. They're for his game that he's doing. But if I were going to sell these, I'd probably do something with the wood paneling back here. But I think these guys need to get up there. I think I've told him that I was going to have these up here like last week or the week before. 100% certain. Oh, I got a little bit of. Let's see if I can catch that before it's too late. I can. All right. Very good. A little bit of water will do you if you ever, as long as you can catch it quick enough. Acrylic paint. If you just have a little bit of water on your brush, you can usually get that off of wherever you've had a missed brush stroke. All right, let's check the chat and see what's up. Oh, you should see it. Well, this is the master model that I did. I did the in like the backside of the shield with kind of the same wood color scheme that I usually do. And it turned out really great. Um I don't know, we might go whole hog and give that a shot. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. What we've got time for. I'm hoping to have it done tonight. Like I want to have them basically done and base tonight. So we'll see what time allots for. But oh no, you're kidding me, right? No way. Really? They're about to go on strike? Is that like is that a real thing? Or are you guys just yanking my leg because you know I'm gullible? If you haven't been here long, you know I'm gullible though. Yeah, that's kind of wild if Canada Post is going on strike. I like that would be crazy. Just get these done and then all of a sudden they're stuck in the mail for months. That would stink. Oh no. 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 Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's even more motivation to just like get it done. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the heads up though. I much appreciate it. That's good to know. So, we'll see. I guess we'll just see how that plays out. Man, Father Aaron, this project has like just been crazy from the start. Started up, life gets absolutely in the way. Um, Crazy politics stuff starts to step into. Finally, about ready to get it out the door, and it's like, oh yeah, the post people are on strike. Enjoy. Just the luck around here. All right. I'm just trying to truck through these. I mean, it's like another little nitpicky detail to do, but uh, it's kind of what sets. I like to make sure I do the best work I can, and that's what I want to do. So I'm doing it. All right, let's. I'm gonna check the chat here real quick. All right, hey, thank you very much for being here, Robert. Good to good to see you. I appreciate you stopping by. I think it's probably going to be sent FedEx. That would be my guess. Yeah, Christmas is definitely maximum paying for anything shipping. All right. Couple more of these shields left to go. So if you like what you're seeing here, and you'd like more of it, go ahead and do the YouTube stuff or the Twitch stuff. Whatever stuff is on your platform, just do the stuff. You already know what I'm talking about. And if you'd like to do it, I'd appreciate it. All right. I kind of did make a miscalculation when painting up this project. I did want to get an idea of what the metallics were going to look like and so on and so forth. So I did paint them on the shields, but what I should have done was painted the back of it just brown and gone ham dinner on the woodwork prior to doing any of the trim, so I didn't have to be so uh I didn't have to be so careful about it while I'm doing this. Hey, what's going on? A weird World War II is in the house. Clutch your pearls, everyone. Clutch your pearls. Just another reason to get into 3D printing, ease of getting what you want on so many levels. Amen. All right, take care there, Dungeon Minister. Have fun at your conference. I hope you and Mel are doing well there, World War II. You got any updates? How you been? How you been? Wait, hold on. Am I remembering that right? Yeah, yeah, it should be Mel. All right. You let me know if I'm just having an absolute brain fart there on that front. But I think I got her name right. It's Mel, right? Or was it? No, it's not Ashley. That doesn't sound right. Brian and Ashley doesn't sound right. I think it's Mel. Oh, you got doing some 3D printed tanks. Yeah, those are you talking about like the ones from Warhammer 40,000? They're so expensive. I think they do it just to spite people because there are actually some effective units on the tabletop. That's just my hot take, though. Don't take this old man's word for it. Okay, good to hear it. Oh, World War II Day coming up on the 13th. Put it in your calendars, friends. If you're into wargaming and just anything weird and World War II related, Weird World War II is where you'd find that. Um, we did some paint up, did some Wolfenstein stuff for Weird World War II on the channel earlier this year. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. But go and check it out. The 13th, huh? So it's the Friday. You're doing it on the Friday the 13th. Auspicious kind of, or maybe not auspicious. What is the word that I'm looking for here? Um, but anyways, yeah, Friday the 13th. That's a fun date to pick for it. I like it. Gives it a little mood and mystery, huh? Yeah, Forge World stuff is always nuts. Charging me, want to charge me like 250 bucks or something for a brass scorpion. Get out of here with that, G Dubs. What they really should do is make their game more accessible to gamers and then just like ride the amount of money that they sell in paints. Like, surely you would have more paint sales with that. Just my personal opinion on that front. We should be getting down to like basically the last of them for basing these shields. Be surprised. Yeah, I think this dude's basically the last one that needs it. 13th of June, and it happens to fall on a Friday this year. Gotcha. Cool. What do you have planned for Weird World War II there 2 day there? Out of curiosity, you doing having some playing some games, or what's the plan? What's the plan? Tell us all about it. I hear you there, Famulous. I have been waiting to see what they do convert to plastic. If they ever did, well, I know they just did the Sisters of Battle. I think they converted some stuff to plastic, right? Or am I tweaking there? Had a little bit of a missed brush stroke there, so I had to try and get it off with a bit of water. Just wanted to dry it off quickly so that it didn't peel any of the paint. Gonna try and do a live game that evening. Not sure if we have it hammered out yet. Gotcha. Well, sounds like fun on a bun. I hope you guys have a blast. I'll see if I can tune in if I can. I Thursday. What, oh, Friday night actually. So I don't know. I might have to bop over there if I can. But I'm gonna be doing a stream with Dirty Basement Terrain on Friday night. I invited Lawrence from Dirty Basement Terrain over. If you haven't seen Lawrence's work, he does fantastic stuff when it comes to terrain making. He's absolutely exceptional at it, and we're gonna have him over here on PML on Friday. So we may end up having to check out what you guys are doing midstream there, Brian, just to celebrate a little bit with you and see what Weird World War II Day is all about. Um, Thursday night, I have a meeting. I'm gonna go and meet for PML. Actually, this is a big one. I don't think I've talked about this yet, but Thursday night I am gonna go have a meeting with Daedalus Studios. They're a 3D print company here in Minnesota, and I'm gonna go speak with their owner, and we're gonna have a pint together and hash out some. We're gonna talk some business. I've been emailing back and forth with them over the past couple of weeks here, and so we may have some news in the future about a special co-branded line of models for Paint Minis Live. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping we got to hash out some details. But it's been about 20 emails we've sent back and forth together. So who knows? Maybe we'll be able to. We might be able to have some more spectacular news in the future here. Not sure. All I know is that Custodies and Knights are the only 40k armies that still have access to the Forge World ranges. Gotcha. Cool, cool. Yeah, I haven't been really good at keeping up with the 40K news, unfortunately. Just in the recent years, because I haven't been playing it. I've mostly been doing a lot of this fantasy stuff, and starting Paint Minis live, was another big hiccup as like doing actually going into business. Uh, was it light bronze or was it white gold? Where's the white gold that I had around over here? I'm looking for my paint that I used for the trim on the shields, so that I can paint that up. Oh, that's silver. Ah, here we are, white gold. My paint has legs and it runs around my desk. Just feel like they're little gremlins or something in here that likes to rearrange my paints. Hey, thank you very much there, Brian. Much appreciated. It's folks like you that keep me motivated to try new things and keep marching ahead. If uh if you want to see some 40K stuff on well, I think I already said this, but yeah, I've got a I've got a poll going on the PML Discord. If you're interested and you want to see uh some heresy in action for Warhammer 40K, or I don't know, maybe some Imperial stuff. I do have some like a box of Blade Guard veterans, and me and Mythos have talked about doing a paint and compare over the past couple of years with that box of Blade Guard veterans. So you can vote for that if you want to see some more sci-fi stuff. I've got BattleTech up there, a whole bunch of like another dragon. That'd be dragon number 3 for the channel, or just more D&D stuff. But you're welcome to go and vote on there for what you want to see next after this project's done. Got to be the gremlins, never us painters. Hey, take care there, Brian. You keep it weird as well. He's a cool guy. I like Brian. Okay. A little bit of this white gold on our palette, just enough so that I can go around and do the trim on the shields that I forgot to do it on. I don't really need a ton of paint on my brush, I guess. Yeah, I know, Mythos. It's on the list, man. It's on the list. It's just one of those things, you know. It's on that to-do list. I haven't even cracked them out to prime them yet, which is the sad part. And I really want to do that. I'd like to ideally get like to ideally see if I can get a decent streak of time to devote to that. Like I know when my work starts to slow down. I don't know if you have any seasonal stuff with your job, but like if you do have any of that, just let me know in Discord or something like that. And we should like maybe time that around then so we have some time to make like a legit thing and kind of try and do it on a consistent basis or whatever, so we can meet up every week and show each other our progress and just nerd out over it because we're nerds anyways. And you can school me on how to do power swords because your power swords are ungodly good. The gradients on there. If you guys have not checked out Wolf Brother Hobbies and his ability to do power swords, you should, because he knows how to do power swords like really well. It makes me envious. Just a hair. Sounds good there, Mythos. So if you've got any questions on anything that you've seen tonight, go ahead and toss it in the chat. By all means, ask away. I'll give you as much information as I can. This is probably going to take a couple of coats. This particular shield here. More water. It's always good to keep your brush hydrated. We're into the groovy 80s part of the playlist here for our royalty-free playlist. I feel like this is somebody watched way too much How It's Made, and then they just made this track. The miniature painter spends 15 to 23 hours per project. In this phase, you'll see the miniature painter paint the trim on the shield. Using white gold, he selects this color due to the high amount of contrast between the green that's already on the shield. This miniature painter accepts no overtime or pay for that matter for their work. Minis are an integral part of the gaming experience. Every step of the process has quality assurance. Right to it to the highest standards before it is packed and shipped to the customer. Next on How It's Made. Minus all customer requests, so it's hard to say. Gotcha. Gotcha. I feel like a whole bunch of people just ran off because they didn't they didn't like the 80s soundtrack. Gonna be upset if they take away the forge. Okay, gotcha. For the custodies and um the knights. All right. I think we can call that good. Whew. Yeah. I think I can be happy with the results on this. on this project for now. That'll be okay. Like, what's wrong with? There's nothing wrong with the A's music. Nothing at all. It just really sounded like it just really sounded like the how kind of how it's made stuff. Uh, where they're like talking about how bricks are made or something. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and transition my painting area here into flocking mode so that we can get the bases on these guys ready. And then we should be ready to get these guys all nice and prettied up and based. That's a term the kids are using these days, isn't it? Calling them kids at my age of 20, like 28 I don't now, I think. Um not that far off myself, but anywho, so we're gonna base these guys, and I've just really got a simple basing recipe. I wanted something that was kind of neutral that could go on any play surface really that the good minister was gonna throw at me, or well, not at me, at his players, excuse me. Um, so I wanted to make sure that I accommodated whether it was gonna be ice, kind of winter map, or like a woodland map, or something of that to that effect. I've got marsh blend and tundra or ash flock here from this is just Gale Forest. I went to a local shop, picked these up real quick. Um, Let me crack them open so you don't get the glare and you can kind of see what's going on with these. I'm gonna tap this a little bit because it tends to get all over the place if I don't settle it and open up the lid for whatever reason. Okay, you're fine. Yeah, I've had it spill out all over the place before and it's not fun. Okay, so there's our ash blend. Kind of looks like cookies and cream ice cream or something without, like the smaller chunks. And then here's our marsh blend. Kind of have a little bit of red, a brown, kind of light brown flock going on in there. And what I tend to do is pick just parts of the mini, and I'll like parts of the base and I'll dip it in like corners, or I'll try and get it in certain places. Shouldn't be all that hard. A couple of guys have tactical rocks that they're standing on, so I will leave them for last because I want to paint the rocks prior to putting the flock on, so that I'm not trying to paint with flock on there and it's just gonna muddy up my brush. So I'm gonna grab me a brush I don't really care about so much, so that we can put some glue down on. Where am I gonna put the glue? I usually have a paper plate down here for this, but I think the last one got really messed up, so I threw it away. Do do do. Um, I guess I'm just gonna use a piece of. I'll just use my paint napkin here that I've got. This little guy, and then from Gale Force 9 basing glue. It's just uh PVA glue is what it is. That's all it is. But um again, it was just support the local shop. So I picked something up. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet, and it's like I could get a bottle Elmer's for cheap, but I was already picking up the flock there. It was one less stop I had to make if I wanted to go to like the home, like the hardware store or something. So, you know, I decided to do it that way. Make sure that the owner's kids get to go to college where they can learn how to drink, and maybe take a class along the way. Who knows? Wow, this all really did settle to the bottom. There we go. Okay, good enough. We'll start with that. If we need to reload, we'll reload. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get my brush wet so I have the ability to somewhat control this. And we'll just grab a nice yump of glue here and start off with our armless friend over here. And I'm just gonna start painting this glue on. This is why I use brushes I don't really like. We don't need a ton of this on here, but I do want to make sure that I get all over the base. I may need a bit more glue than I thought. I'm probably going to need a decent amount of glue. A little bit of water in your brush kind of helps with the application process here. Use a little less glue. I tend to go glue heavy though when I'm basing just because I do want to make sure it all sticks. That's kind of my biggest worry. So I do go a little bit glue heavy. I've seen people get away with very small amounts of glue though. It's all down to personal preference, I think, and how you like to do that. And then just gonna take this guy with my clean hand here. We're gonna do a little, probably like a little 50-50. Yeah. So there we go. Nice kind of, could be gravel from a path, could be snow on a hillside, could be ash from a battle. Who knows? But a little bit of light, a little bit of dark on there kind of makes for an interesting scheme that could kind of go anywhere. All you got to do is cheese it with the lore, folks. Just cheese it with the lore. Nobody will know. Hey, what's going on? Lawrence is in the house. Hey, man. How's it going, Lawrence? Good to see you. I was just telling everybody how I'm hoping to meet up with you on Friday. We're doing some basing here for our project for the good minister who's currently at a clerical conference watching from the back, watching PML from the clergy conference. So a little dab of PVA will do you. This is always a fun part for me because I know we're getting close to the end of a project, and this is like super satisfying. Okay, so I might go a little bit heavier on the marsh stuff with this guy. Just get him stuck in there a little bit. All right. Sprinkle inkle. Very nice. I think that looks pretty good. Water down PVA 50-50. Applied with a brush, sprinkle it on. Nice. I've kind of been just using the water on the brush to help with the application part of it. I think I do have to reload it here soon, but I've kind of been just doing that. Um, I don't need a ton of glue for these guys, but yeah, definitely. If I was going through and doing another 20 of them, I'd probably mix up an entire batch like, 50-50, just like that. Lawrence, you been up to anything new? Any new projects? I haven't been able to check in as much as I wanted to, but I know you got that 3D printer. Um, have you been able to put that through its paces yet? Out of curiosity. Currently packing up the basement, at least the stuff I don't use much. Oh, you're moving soon. Wow, that's big. Um, yeah, yeah, I agree there, Mythos. Definitely agree. The basing definitely adds something to it. I think it's another fun part of the painting process. You're right. It does kind of make it pop, though. I'm enjoying it. I think I need a little bit more glue. Definitely putting it through its paces. Nice. Glad to hear it. I know you were super pumped about that machine, man. I'm happy it's serving you well. A new basement to dirty up. Yeah. I really like using kind of like craft store brushes for this basing part with the PVA. Like the cheaper ones at the craft store you can get in big packs. That way I don't really have to worry about them if for whatever reason the glue starts to harden on them or whatever. I can throw them out without thinking too hard about it. I'll still reuse them for various projects sometimes, but it's a little bit nicer on the mind. I don't have to worry about using good brushes for it or um, anything that hasn't been already put through the ringer, so to speak. Save me a couple schmeckles. Just blasting through these guys. Hmm. I see. Yeah, I hear that one. Moving can definitely be bittersweet at times. I remember me and Miss PML, our first place we had together, this little apartment we had. Um, we made really good friends with two really nice young women downstairs from Kenya. Um, and I'll never forget having already had Easter dinner, and then they knocked on our door after we got home and invited us to have Easter dinner with them too, down at their place, and having some ridiculously good chapati. Um, it was like this ground chickpea dish with flatbreads that you kind of dip in there, and it was had like it was creamy because it had a little coconut milk in there, but it was also spicy too. It was really good. But Yeah, it was bittersweet leaving, having to go away from good friends. But we stay in contact with them. They're still doing okay. Doing all right. I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of a different scheme on this guy besides just 50-50. We'll leave a little bit of kind of do the corners just a little bit and then try and have the white fill up the center. All right. And then we've got our tactical rock guys. So we'll kind of pause the basing side of stuff here real quick. I'll paint up the rocks and we're basically done with this project. So I'm gonna paint those rocks up and then bring this stuff back out. All right, where did I put my palette? There we go. I do like the spicy. I'll have to remember that. There we go. Lawrence likes the spicy. I used to be just a total baby for spicy stuff, and my taste buds changed in the last like year, I think, last year or two, and now I really dig the spicy stuff. Mine brushes have run away from me a little bit here. Okay, there's my brush. Got it. Ah, we're on to the trap section of the playlist. I think I'm gonna try and change that. Not the playlist is pretty good, but okay. So for rocks, it's just all grayscale. I'm gonna start with a black brown. I'm just gonna handshake these real quick. I'm sorry to hear that, Mythos. So just a drop of black brown on the palette here. Kind of do maybe a little bit of a zoom in. looks good to me. Let you dry off while we hit up the other one. Not looking forward to packing up all your paints. Yeah, I can definitely understand that one. Um, when I was going to Claricon for the first time, I remember trying to figure out how I was going to pack up all my paints, and then I ended up just going after. I actually got a specialized carrying case for them, so I can take my entire range of paints wherever I go now. Granted, it's a unruly beast that is absolutely huge, but it carries all. Oh man, it's quite a few paints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let me just do some quick maths here. Where did my keyboard go? Okay, here we go. Let's see. So 8. So 96 paints I can fit in that carrying case. Gives me a pretty decent range. The craft paints alone. That's right. Yeah, you work with a lot of the craft paints, don't you? Okay, so now we've got our black brown in there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab, let's see, that's black brown. Good, good. Oh, shoot. Just going to drag my paint through PVA glue. Rookie mistake. um, we're going to continue up the grayscale with neutral gray. I'm going to see, can I switch? There we go. All right. That way you can actually read the paint bottle. I totally forgot to unmirror that camera. All right. Wow, did this playlist start to go crazy on me here? All right. I think I'm falling back to the other one. There we go. The classic. It's a rock. It doesn't have to be crazy pretty, but I'm going to do just some quick spot highlighting around this rock. Make it look groovy. All right, off to bright neutral gray here. Oh, you've done that too, Lawrence? Oh, man. I've done that as well. Take a sip of the paint water. I feel like that's the christening for mini painters. Take a sip of the paint water. Oh, oh, that is, yeah, I hear that one, Lawrence. Don't keep your coffee mug next to your paint water. That's great, man. Oh, thanks for making me feel like I'm not the only one. Oh, that is so good. So good. All right. So now I've got my bright gray here, and this one I'm gonna go down to the tiny brush and just start making super quick highlights on these guys, on these ridges. Actually, we're gonna mix a little bit of the previous color together. Gonna keep with our gradient trick here, friends. It's a little bit too bright for my taste. There we go. We're making a nice, pretty rock. Let's zoom in on our pretty rock. Very nice. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. I'm gonna go just one more step. There we go. I think that just about does it. Just getting down in here into the last little details. Good enough for me. I think that works out just fine. Hey, thanks there, Dungeon Minister. Actually, he's in a class. I should probably just type him. Just let him know. What's going on, grumpy old slam? Hey. Thank you very much for the compliment there, Lawrence. Much appreciated. All right, there we go. Greetings instead, he says. Okay, well, hey, take care, have fun with your friend, and thanks for dropping by just to say hi. I like the drive-by hellos. Always happy to see. Always happy to see you, even for just a minute or two. All right, back to basing. These guys are ready to get based. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I need my little spill napkin. Otherwise, I end up with all those little particles all over my desk, and then it gets into the paint and into the everything. I think anybody who's played around with the basing stuff long enough kind of knows that it gets everywhere. You don't have something to. All right, we're off to the races on the basing game once again. I think these guys will basically be a wrap tonight. There'll be. I'll have to seal the minis, and I know there were a couple people asking about how do you seal them. Well, I think it was actually Grumpy Old Slan suggested I do a specific thing just on doing the varnishing part of this. So I may have that be a separate stream. Who knows? But it'll be basically a technical only stream. I don't think I'll be painting very much, like much of anything else on there. This guy's a bit more on the white based side, but that's all right. Need a little bit more glue. Again, thanks for hanging out with me tonight, everybody. Much appreciated. This PVA's, I think, getting a little old. It's not coming out of the bottle very well. There we go. Oh, the dungeon minister's going through it at his conference. Gotta love it. I paint just a little bit of glue on the top of that rock and see what happens. hopefully a happy little accident occurs, Bob Ross style, and we can get some cool like lichen effect or something on there with the swamp or the marsh mix. That would be pretty cool in my book. All right, give it a nice little sprinkle, sprinkle. That did work out just as I thought. That's cool. I'll have to remember that trick for later. It's kind of like white Cheeto dust on your fingers, this ash slash turf thing. All right. I hope you got my cheesy wave. Okay. All right. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of on a roll here. It's 2 hours. I think I can handle it. If I can, do I varnish these guys? Well, I have to glue them first. That's true. So I think I may wait till like tomorrow to do that. Um, but let's, yeah, we'll get all our guys out here. Little beauty shot action going on. Maybe let's see if we can get. You'll see my dirty desk, but that's okay. Um, yeah, I think these guys turned out quite well for what they are. These nice little sculpts. I'll have to seal them with varnish still, but probably give them a good brushing off too. That'd probably help. So, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'll open it up to a little Q&A time here. Let me get my camera out of the way a little bit. There we go. I think we're kind of done with doing that for tonight. Hey, thank you very much there, Mythos. I appreciate the compliment. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Uh, yeah, if anybody's got questions, throw them in now or forever hold your peace. Um, or at least until the next stream. You can always ask me in the next one. It was so good to see everybody in here, man. The OGs were coming out of the woodwork. Grumpy old Slan, Lawrence from Dirty Basement Terrain. Check him out. Check him out. You got to go see his stuff. He makes some of the best weird monsters and things. And just terrain in general. A lot of good stuff you got going over there, Lawrence. Wolf Brother Hobbies, Mythos in here. Brian from Weird World War II. Met some new friends and Famulous. And it's good to see Robert back too as well. That was one I wasn't quite expecting tonight. RPG Dad was in the chat as well. Tonka Todd too. Man, everybody was here. This is the night to go on. All right. Yeah, check me out Friday for sure. Tomorrow maybe, but Friday for sure with Lawrence from Dirty Basement Terrain. We're just gonna kind of do some shop talk. I haven't really figured out a topic, but it seems like Lawrence is down for a bit of an interview, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. He's been kind of waiting for a while. What's your plans for the Heroescape figures? Dull Rusty Knife coming out of nowhere. What's going on? What's your plan for the hero? Well, so far, I've been trying to get done with this project. There's this, and then about another dozen of these figures that are in a different paint scheme that I've got to do. Um, as well as another like hero figure. I have it on the Discord to vote if you want to just do strictly Heroescape stuff for a while. So I put that up there, but I put up a poll for it. So go cast your vote if you're on the. Are you on the Discord, Del Rusty Knife? Feel like you should be on the Discord. If you're not, the links down below if you want to use that, or just let me know that you don't have it and I'll do it. I'll send it to you. But we could see a pop up stream for some Heroescape stuff. Yeah, I could see that happening. Um, keep your eye out on the weekend. If I plan to do something, you'll be the first to know. You'll be the first to know. I think we've got some Heroescape dragons laying around here that might need a paint job too. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, with that being said, I think I'm about to pop off here. Thanks everybody for joining me tonight and painting some lovely. Oh, not yet. Okay. All right. Well, I will make sure to send you an invite on your cellular tellular. Um, but yeah, thanks again for joining me tonight as we painted up some really wonderful models. I can't wait to seal these guys and ship them off to Canada, hopefully before their postal service strikes. It would be nice. That way they don't have to get there in 4 to 6 months. Um, but we'll see what happens. It's gotten a little bit more fire under my butt to get it out the door. So thank you again for tuning into PML. I'm your host, Bill T. I hope to see you again in the next one. Keep an eye out and stay safe, stay healthy. Good night,